everyone! How you all doing? Hope you're doing okay. So next up, I've got a great guest for you all. This is my interview with Welsh singer Adam Robert Lewis. Hope you enjoy. Step straight into it. And first question being, where did your journey into music, theatre and the arts begin?
I'll give you the short answer. Basically, I started off doing amateur theatre in the Rhondda Valleys. That was when I first started doing theatre.
Yeah.
I did it when I was a little bit younger, stagecoach, but my mother said she wasn't going to pay for me to do it any longer because I wasn't committed. So I stopped. But I did amateur theatre, and that was my first show was Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and I really enjoyed it. I struggled, they had to push me on stage every night because I was just so nervous. But once it finished, I really enjoyed it, and they asked me to come back. And then I'd always wanted to be an actor or perform, but it's one of those things. How do you go about it? I grew up in a really small valley and then moved to Bridgend. So anyway, it was a woman, Pat Evans, who was directing Spotlight, the amateur theatre company that I was a part of, and she said, "You should do this as a career." And I said, "Maybe I will. I'll get paid to not work for a living." It was great. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And then I started having singing lessons and traveling to London. And then I eventually decided to audition for drama school. So that's how I started in amateur theatre, really.
Yeah. And what was your training like in drama school?
I enjoyed it. I was reluctant to begin with to go to drama school because I didn't go to drama school till I was 24. So I was much older, and it was later than my peers who were with me. So it was good. I did struggle. It's tough. Drama school's tough. You're thrown into a class with 30 other people, all with aspirations and dreams to work as a professional actor or singer or whatever they wanted to do. So I did learn a lot. What I loved about it is working with outside directors. So when outside professional directors would come in, that's when I really enjoyed drama school, because that's what it felt like. You were a working actor then, because you were going to a rehearsal room, you were rehearsing, you were putting on a show. But I did enjoy it. It was tough to get in because I'm not a natural dancer. And obviously, if you audition for drama school, you have to do dancing, singing, and acting. And I can just about cope with singing and acting, but dance is a bit beyond my reach. So I was bumping into people and all sorts of things. It was horrific. And then I had to spend a year in jazz pants, and that was tough. But I did enjoy it. It was good. Monkview was a good training ground for me, I think. You hear sort of people say, get some life experience first. And I think had I had the gumption and the drive to do it at a younger age, I probably would have. Yeah. But I didn't. To be honest, this is the honest answer. I did think about doing it, but when I was 16, I had a car accident. And it left me needing plastic surgery to reconstruct my nose and ear and cheek and all sorts of things. So at 16, you go, well, I can't really be an actor now because who's going to hire me? And that was in my thought process for a while. So it wasn't until I did amateur theatre that I realized that I should do it. But I did have experience. I worked as a graphic designer before, and I ran my own business. So I had a bit of business acumen behind me, which I think is essential and does give you a little bit of an advantage going to drama school. You know how to navigate, and it is a business. So I think having that experience did help me initially, how to approach auditions and speaking to different people or network and all that sort of thing. So I think, I'm glad I did it that way round, because if I didn't, I don't think I would have maybe used the opportunities as much as I did now if I had maybe done it the other way around.
Yeah.
So, I do think it's good to maybe have a bit of experience, because to be an actor, you need experience. You know what I mean? I've had, ups and downs in life, and, the car accident is quite traumatic. So all of these things are fuel for an actor, I think,
Yeah.
I think, so I think it is good, but whatever's right for you, that was my path, and it was the right road. And for other people, they go much younger, and it works for them. But my castability is a little older. So I think even if I had gone earlier on, it would have taken me years to work, because I think I'm a little bit older in my ways for my age, I think, and the way I look. Maybe life's been unkind to me. I don't know. Somebody said to me, if you don't go and pursue your dream of being an actor or whatever, you're going to get to 50 and you're going to be that person that goes, oh, what if? And then I thought, yeah, that's terrible. That is tough. And, I just thought I would rather get to 50 and go, oh, well, I give it a go. And, I did the best I can. Then, it's easier to deal with if they don't come true. But if you don't try, well, you're only here once.
Absolutely.
So I always took that approach to it, really.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. That is a great way to look at it. And I think, like you say, you've done other things along the way, and it all, all adds to what you can give to a performance, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a true believer in that.
And so you're Welsh, are you patriotic?
Somebody asked me that yesterday.
Really?
I don't know. I think so. I think I am. I'm not your, a lot of the boys that I grew up with were huge rugby fans, and, sort of patriotic that way in terms of sport. But I love it when I speak to other Welsh actors or people in this industry, or all walks of life, and I think, oh, they're Welsh. So I do get behind people, but I think so. Weirdly, living in Wales, I always wanted to either live in London or New York, America. I love America. I don't know why. So I don't know. And then I always felt, I wanted to get out of Wales. When I want to get out to Wales, I want to go to London, or I want to go to America. I don't know why. I just love New York, and I love London. I love the hustle and bustle of it. But now I live in London. I love going back to Wales, seeing my family, and specifically, I grew up in a really little village called Blaengarrow, which is about 20 minutes from Bridgend. And it's it's not like you can't go through the valley and get to the Rhondda. It's not like that. It's not like Ogmore and Antimore. You go to the end and you have to turn around and come back. So it's very small. And I love going back there, and I'd love to live there. My mother goes, well, you have lived there. I go, yeah, but I just love going back. And I went back a few months ago. I was doing a concert in Penarth, and we went up to my grandparents, and we went up the mountain. I thought, God, the view, everything about it. I thought, I love Wales. And so I think I am. Yeah.
To being in London, it's that breath of fresh air, I think.
I think so. Yeah. And I don't know why I was so obsessed. We used to go on trips to London quite a lot when I was younger, but we never went to America. That was, my mother wasn't that interested. So we used to go to, beach holidays. And I don't like beach holidays. I much prefer city breaks. So when I could go, I was like, right, I'm off. And that was one of the first places I went, was Florida, New York. So I love America. I love the culture. And when I was a kid, my favorite film, and it sounds weird now, when I was literally maybe 4 or 5, maybe a bit younger, 4 or 5 probably, was King Kong, the black and white original. I used to watch it on repeat, and it was that sort of Hollywood movies that I fell in love with. And I used to watch loads of black and white movies, James Dean, Humphrey Bogart, Spencer Tracy, and I still watch, black and white movies. And I think it's my granddad used to watch them, and westerns, and so I don't know, America just seems so appealing to me.
And tell us, what are your career highlights or on-stage wow moments?
When I decided to be an actor, or I'd had one goal, my only goal. Now this is going to sound odd because most people go, I just want to act, and I do, but I had one goal, and it was to be in Phantom of the Opera. That was it. I don't know why, but ever since I was a little boy, I've liked Phantom of the Opera. And I think it was because I remember watching a documentary on, I think it was BBC, and it was Peter Carey, and it was film crew following Peter around the West End, and then eventually him going to Canada. And I don't know what it was. And, my parents said, oh, he owns a pub down somewhere. And I remember my parents taking me to the pub. I think it was called the Red Fox. I can't remember. But Peter Carey owned a pub. And so they took me to the Red Fox, I think, on a Sunday for Sunday dinner. And you could have Sunday dinner in the lair. Now, it sounds a bit odd now, and Peter would go, the lair. But anyway, I went to the lair. And it had all these pictures of Peter in the mask. The mask was in like a big glass dome that you could look at. And I thought, wow, there's a guy, he's on the West End. Boom. And I don't know why, but I thought I'd love to play that role one day. So when I left drama school and I got into Phantom was my first professional show. And I just couldn't believe it. That opening night on the Masquerade stairs, I'd watched the show so many times as an audience member, and I thought, I cannot believe I'm standing on the stage and about to do Masquerade. And then cut to a few years later, I managed to get the in-house Phantom cover, and I went on for the Phantom for the first time. Having seen Peter Carey do it and a lot of other Welsh actors that have played the role, I thought, coming on the gondolier to the Phantom of the Opera track, I thought, wow, this is all I've ever dreamed of. And that's and it sounds weird, and I thought, if I could go back 5 years to, say to myself then, you will be doing that, I would never ever have believed you. But to be on that boat, coming down and you look out into the audience and this with the same expression I had watching the show, just, in sheer awe of the set and the score, everything. That was a career highlight for me. And I got to play the Phantom, or half of the Phantom, because the Phantom fell ill on the 33rd birthday. And I finished the show in front of Cameron McIntosh. He was in that night watching. And that was surreal. The curtain comes down and Cameron McIntosh is coming up to you going, well done, Adam, great show. I couldn't believe it. And being totally Welsh, I didn't really know what to say. And I said, oh, great. I said, I can't wait now to get to the bar and get drunk. And I thought, why have you said that? And Cameron said, good idea. And I thought, you should have said something. But I thought, that's just me. I was just, they are my career highlights so far, because I haven't really done a lot else. But that was my dream and my goal, and to have achieved it within the first few years of graduating, I've been very, very lucky, and I can't quite believe it's happened. Sometimes I think somebody's going to knock on my door and say, Adam, your time's up, or this was an internship, or it's a dream. Yeah. But I'm very lucky, touch wood. I've had some great moments with the show. I remember first meeting Peter at a concert in Caerphilly that we did together. I just wanted to talk to him all day. I wanted to find out the stories. And he was very generous. And I watched his music of the night, and I still watch his music of the night now. And I think for him, I'm not classing myself with these people at all, but I think the Crawfords and the very early Phantoms, Peter Carey, Scott Davis, who's still at the sensational Phantoms. And I think Peter moved it on a little in a different direction, and people still pay homage to him. There's things in my performance that I pay homage to that I like, and you steal from the best. And I do think they really are, and I still watch. I still watch Peter for inspiration, or watch, and I just think my sheer charisma Peter had. you can't learn that, or you can't buy it, and you can't. I don't know how, but he had the audience in the palm of his hand, and I don't know whether he used to be a club singer, and I think maybe it's tough to be a club, go around the club singing, and that's when you really earn your craft, is to be able to get an audience on your side, and it's in those places that are tough. So it's wonderful to be able to give my own interpretation and to play the role that I've watched other people do and dream of for so many years.
He is one of the nicest people I've ever met. I've performed a lot with Peter, and the children have performed. Right. I've spent a lot of time with him over the past 6-7 years, something like that. And he was one of the first people that I asked to come on and have a chat to. I could have been there all day. At one point, like, we might as well have lunch now, girl, because it's because he is not only one of the nicest people, he's done so many amazing things. He's so to talk to. He's got so many stories to tell. He's a fantastic storyteller, and I think part of like you say, the charisma that he's got is the fact that he can tell a story amazingly well, like no other, really.
And I think when he started, he was at the beginning of the big era of these big musicals: Jesus Christ Superstar, Evita, Chess, Phantom, Les Mis. So he really caught that wave, and you don't get guys like that now, really. John Owen Jones is probably the last of those, big guys that you see a lot in these musicals, and they got a real earthiness to them. But yeah, I love Peter. Funny enough, I have asked him, would he like to do the podcast? And he did say yes, but I haven't had a chance to arrange it. And I know I'll be there for hours because I want to know all these questions and answers to all my questions. Why did you do this? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was just going to say, actually, my next question was, if you could sit down and interview anyone in the world, who would it be? I only got one person. I think if I was to sit down with one person, it would have to be Anthony Hopkins. And that's such a cliche because he's Welsh. But I'm a huge Anthony Hopkins fan. Or probably Burton. But no, I would like to sit down with Anthony Hopkins because I think he's done a real wide variety of things. So I would love to chat with him and productions that he did. Obviously, when I was too young to go to the theatre, I would love to talk to him about those. Pravda, when he did King Lear at the National. Those later years at theatre before he became such a big success in Hollywood. I think those few years for me are really exciting. I think he played Lambert LaRue in a part called he played Lambert LaRue in a play called Pravda, and by David Hare and Howard Brenton. It's a fantastic play. They don't do it anymore, and I always think why? Because it's about a sort of a big media mogul who buys up this well-established British newspaper and decides to make it like The Sun, essentially. It's such a good story. But I would love to hear about how he created that character, because apparently he was phenomenal in the show, and he never blinked. He was like, and it's skills that I think he used in Silence of the Lambs, but he never blinked, and he was like a lizard apparently. And anytime I talk to other actors or people who have said, "Oh, I saw that," and I queued outside the National to get a ticket, I'm like, "What was it like?" What was the But anyway, I would like to sit down with Anthony Hopkins, I think. I love Bill Nye as an actor. And when I was rehearsing Phantom, he doesn't live that far from the theatre. And I used to bump into him every day, round about the same time, because I'd be going to rehearsals and he'd be going, I don't know, for lunch or going to buy a book. He's usually in Hatchard's, which is a bookshop on Piccadilly. So I passed him and we clocked eyes a few times, and I thought, oh, I'm not one to stop people and go, oh, hello, I'm such a big fan. But I thought, I bumped into him again. And he said, you were following me. And I said, no, I said, as it happens, I said, I'm off to rehearsals.
And I just seemed to. Anyway, I said, I've been meaning to talk to you. And he said, well, you should have said something. And we had about a 15, 20-minute conversation. And he was in Pravda with Anthony Hopkins. So we were talking about that. And I had seen him in a play called Skylight by David Hare, which I loved. And he couldn't have been more giving as a person. I thought, wow. And I since been into him now and again and say hello. Or I've been in Hatchet's buying a book and he's been in there. So, I've been lucky, touch wood, the people I have met have been kind and very giving of their time. And I think that's something everybody should learn. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't take much to just stop and have a chat. And it's not the same level, but even when you come out of the stage door, I'm quite shy. And I tend to like to just go. And if I'm on for the Phantom, I'm not going to stop and go, hello, I was your Phantom tonight. Would you like, I'm just going to get home. But I did once come out of the stage door and I just left and somebody said, when's the Phantom coming out? And they said, he's just gone. And this girl started to sing Wishing You Were Somewhere Here Again. And I thought, well, I have to go back now. And I thought, well, it's sometimes, to stand outside stage door and wait, it's, you don't have to, but it's nice to chat to people and they're very interesting people and mostly people pursuing a career. And I always remember I was once the person outside stage door, only ever dreaming of coming out of stage door. So I think I know, how it feels.
Yeah, definitely. And what would you say your favourite part of being a member of a company is?
I like the camaraderie. I like the fun. You will always make friends for life, and being in Phantom, I have certainly made friends for life. I like the odd prank now and again. I've been in the company, as we all do, but I love that we're all, and at the end of the day, we all have the same hang-ups, which I find, the benefit of joining a company is everyone knows how difficult it is to work in this industry, and you can knock at anyone's door in the theatre, have a chat, and you know what I mean? We all know where we're coming from, where, and people have been there, done it, worn the T-shirt. And I've got in Phantom, Philip Griffiths, who's been in the show now for, I think, over 30 years. And I call him my Welsh guru, and he's from Mid Wales. So I always usually, before the show starts, knock on the door, go in, come in back, and I sit down and I have a little chat, tell him my worries and my woes. And then he sets me right, and then I'm good to go again for a couple of hours until I need to knock on the door again.
Yeah.
But it is nice, and I have made friends for life.
What is your favourite?
What's my favourite what?
Colour.
Oh, colour. Navy. I only wear navy. Navy, yeah, I'm always in navy. I don't wear any colour. It drives my mother nuts.
Really?
She says, we just wear navy. My entire wardrobe is pretty much navy. Because I like the ability to wake up in the morning, go to the wardrobe, and I know I look good in navy, and I like navy. So why bother with the struggle every day of trying to put an outfit together where I just pick up a navy shirt. Usually I buy 3 or 4 of the same shirt and I go from there. Drive my mother up the wall.
And do you like cooking? Are you a cook?
Oh, I don't enjoy cooking. Lindsay says I'm a good cook. I'm very good at scrambled eggs.
Okay.
Right? Sensational at scrambled eggs, I must say. I don't usually blow my own trumpet, but scrambled eggs, it's all about on the heat, off the heat. None of this microwave thing. Little bit of chives, maybe some sour cream or something, but I tend to eat out a lot, and that's usually a bit of a trouble because I like to try and I always have to watch my weight. I do struggle with my weight. I'm I like a drink and I like good food. So by cooking at home now in lockdown, I think, oh, well, that's quite easy to make, and I'll be making chili and curries. and always scrambled eggs. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a great cook. Well, I'm terrible at DIY, and this is a confession. I bought a bed from IKEA and bought it, drove down, picked it up, and Lindsay was going to work, and I said, "No worries, I'll have it built by the time you come home." And she made me a coffee and bacon sandwiches. I felt like a right builder. I thought, yeah, here we go. 5 hours had passed, the bed still wasn't made, and I couldn't quite work out what was going wrong with it. I was back and forth IKEA all the time. I was, you've sold me a bed. There's something wrong with it. It doesn't work. The slats are wrong. And my father had to drive all the way from Wales to put the bed up because I couldn't do it. It took me a week. It turns out that I had the legs on the wrong way round, but I was not to know. I was not to know that. And my father said, if you measure the bed, the top of the bed and the bottom, you'll see it's tapering. I said, I don't know. So anytime I need something done, my father's got to travel up from Wales to do it. I can't. I'm terrible at DIY. Absolutely terrible. We bought a shelving unit to put the television on, and I rang a guy, a flat pack guy. He was quite an old guy, and he came around and he said, "You're not going to learn if I do it for you." So he got me to do it. So I paid him for the luxury of telling me how to do it.
Oh my God.
And he said, "You're going to learn." I can't believe it. I thought, I'm paying you 30 quid to put it up. And he said, "No, come on." He said, "You can do it." And I did. He watched me do it. It was hellish, but I did put it up. He did help you a bit when it got a bit complicated. But on the whole, I did it myself. Yeah,
okay.
So there's a confession for you. I'm terrible at flat pack.
What's next after lockdown? Will it be to return to the show?
I think the plan is that they are planning on reopening Phantom, of course, and they have asked us to go back for a short period of time to get the show up and running. I don't know what's next after Phantom. Like I said, my only dream was to be in Phantom. And, my agent says you need to get other dreams now. And I do have other things I would like to do. I'm not a huge fan of filming for some reason. I did my first filming gig this year, and I enjoyed it, but I get very uncomfortable in front of the camera. But like I said, which is odd. But I would love to do Shakespeare. Okay. I'd like to do a lot more Shakespeare, or Dylan Thomas. I'd love to do Under Milkwood. So I've set myself a task now. I've got all my books and plays and that I'm going to read, and I've been learning a sonnet or some form of poetry a week.
Fab.
In order to just exercise my mind a little and actually learn because you've got to exercise. Learning the script can be tough. Yeah. So I don't know what's next, really.
Yeah, particularly the language. It is different, isn't it? So yeah.
I haven't had to learn anything while I'm here, and I think it's good to just work at that text, because I think classic text can be a little daunting, and we didn't really touch a lot on it at drama school. And I think being Welsh, you've got a natural sort of lilt to the voice, and I think I would like to do more Shakespeare. So I think after Phantom, I think I would like to maybe experience a little bit of that. But who knows? I don't know what will happen.
Yeah, open to whatever comes your way, I guess.
I'm open. Yeah, I'm a big believer in just going, wow, what will be will be. Obviously you've got to work for it, but I mean, I'm a bit obsessive, so I think that's no good. I think I can't control people, places, and things. So I just go, well, I'll do what I can do, and then the rest is up for debate.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for taking the time for a chat.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, worry. Well, anyway. Enjoy your book, and thanks so much again. And I'll send you the link when it goes up.
Yeah, no probs. All the best. Ta-da.
Bye. Great chat with Adam. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Lots more great guests still to come. And we're now in July. Happy July. Hopefully, when you're watching this, things will be a little bit more back to normal, as I'm filming in May when things aren't. See you soon, everyone. Take care. Bye.